Hello. Have you ever wondered what's happening around you? You are in this so-called developing country, India, where US, UK, Germany, Sweden, Norway all are so well developed. And on the other hand, South America's Venezuela has debacled a lot in the recent economies. So what's making that lot of difference? And why we are hasting away from China? Why we are seeing it as so monarchist? Well, let's delve into this too short in a word. So here comes three types of economies. First of all, in this world, to understand what's happening around in this so-called business world, you need to be aware of three kinds of economies. So, politico economy models. Well, what are these models all about? We are this democratic and parliamentarian, so many details are there, but well, in a jiffy, to be frank, there are basically three types of models in this world for any country to fit in. Well, first one is called the capitalist, second as the socialist, and third the communist. So you're wondering, I have been to these words. Okay, fine. Well, you have been already through these words. You heard them somewhere around in the past. But let me tell you, these are quite confusing, isn't it? Communism, socialism, both term the same. Capitalism is okay, fine, somewhat you can understand. So let me tell you the quick difference between these three. Only then you can understand where our India stands and where our India fits in this whole global economy. Well, capitalism is a politico-economic model in which only private firms will be there. Like there will be government, of course, but there won't be any government intervention in the economy. Only private ownership is the leading one. Private members itself deal all the business, banking and all financial services, whatever it may be. So all the money related aspects are confined with the private ownership itself. So obviously, whenever you are given such a scope, you being an individual will definitely thrive to be the best among all. So you give lot of efforts to be the best productive way. So in this capitalist economy, the main problem is that whenever there is a private ownership and there is no government intervention, of course not all will be equal in this country, right? So poor will remain poor itself, whereas the rich big shots will get richer ever and ever, because the poor will be employed in the private ownership. So the private firms, whatever the profit they obtain, they utilize it to themselves itself. So they only develop, whereas the workers, they simply work in the factory, they earn the mere minimum wages and they lead on their living. They don't have that skill set, or they don't improve. Maybe they may improve as entrepreneurs and they again fall into the same cycle where the private ownership only thrives and the private members only earn a lot, whereas there's individual mere workers, they remain as workers itself, as there is no government intervention. In the sense, government doesn't take any control of the economy, or government doesn't look after the needy people, what are the basic facilities they need and all. So private sector, it thrives in. So is this good to an economy? Well, there are few positives and more negatives in this. Positives in the sense, it is quite good because you as a customer will be having wide choice of opportunities. Like you can buy whatever you want and there is huge competition in the market. It is a free open market, so everyone will be thriving a lot, producing the best of their qualities. So you have wide choice as a customer, and of course due to the competition, prices will also be negotiable because the prices are determined by the market forces of supply and demand. And of course the producers will only produce what is in the demand, but not such as what is required for the needy and what people can afford. Only that one the private ownership members will be having to produce more. Whereas of course the middle class and the upper middle class and the rich big shots can thrive in such economy very well. They fit in there very well. But the homeless, poor people, they suffer a lot in this capitalist society. And now let's get into socialism. Socialism, communism, both tend to sound the same, except that ism, there is somewhat difference in this prefix. Very fine. Capitalist and socialist are quite lot opposites, okay? In the socialist economy, where there will be only government control and there won't be any private firm at all. So government obviously controls the whole lot of the economy, and there won't be any private entrepreneurship, private jobs and private employees, nothing as that. Only government control, fully owned by government itself, and all are government jobs itself. So people come in, they work, they earn. Of course, all the salary is also fixed. So maybe there will be some hierarchy like assistant, and then on some government manager, and then government project director and all. Maybe there will be some differences in the income. So here it gives about progressive tax rate, in the sense based on the income. If he is earning higher income, he will be taxed higher, and if his income is less, he will be taxed less. Okay, so it is called as progressive tax rate. I mean, government employees, all are government employees, all are under government control. So everyone will be under government itself. So everything is managed by government, coming to money, banking, finances, and marketing, and the price is also determined by government itself. What are the goods to be produced, which services to be allocated, and how much the production quantity, everything is in the government hands itself. Of course, it encourages worker unions and all, in the sense it also checks for the welfare of the people. So once all are government employees, how it helps the needy people, the poor people, the poorest of the poor? Well, it is through the tax. Whatever the taxes it collected, it just disburses them, and it just keeps them as subsidy, and gives health care to the needy, education, free education and all. So in that way there won't be any much income disparities, because everyone will be secured with a fixed income from the government. And then people will also be like they have the needy essentials and all. I mean, all are satisfied, so there is no much problem in that. Then where is the problem lying in the socialist economy? The problem is there are positives and negatives. Positive is that people are well assured, they are secured, they are having income, there are no income disparities, there are no inequalities in the society, everyone are one and the same. Negatives in the sense, this doesn't boost economy at all. There won't be any growth, because you are not giving any incentive for an individual who thrives a lot, I mean, who brings out his innovation, or who is making more contribution, because everyone is getting paid the same, right? There is no innovation, there is no private firms encouragement. So when you are not getting any boost for your productivity, obviously you tend to be the same, you don't enrich your skills, and of course you are also getting secured income, so you lie down easy, you go up easy, you don't care much for the productivity, so everything goes in a smooth run way, but that doesn't serve any growth to the economy. It is just the same. And then here income inequalities are also not there, income disparities are not there, but overall this is somewhat not good for the economy if it wants to have growth, I mean boost in the GDP and all. Next is about communism. Communism is a form of socialism itself. It is called as revolutionary socialism, in the sense of course this is not any particular term, but to be frank, it is a phenomenon observed once in Russia. Of course, capitalism is the only thing that is being run across the world, but one German philosopher called Karl Marx in 1848 observed that this type of capitalist society leads to a lot of disparities among people, and it's not good for all. So he suggested two theories in his book called the Communist Manifesto, wherein he proposed about socialism, and which ultimately driven towards communism. In communism, we will be having only working class. Like, of course, as I said, in Russia, once in Russia there was czar monarchy, and then in 1917, by October Revolution, Lenin has under the leadership of Lenin, the working class has agitated against the czar monarchy, and he was outthrown. And then the working class themselves have led the country economically and towards production and everything and all, and how it fits in the modern world. Well, today, if we discuss about this, in today's world, communism is seen in Russia once upon a time, but no more in this today's world. So communism is not much engaging, because it is under authoritarianism or working class, but that working class tends to be a single party system, so there won't be any much choice for the customers and all. Well, let me just talk these three phenomena in this modern world, like how they fit in. US, UK, Switzerland, Singapore, South Korea and all fall into these capitalist economies, where they encourage foreign investments, private entrepreneurship, startups, and of course they also care for the needy people. Like in the US, despite it being the capitalist economy, you still find insurance schemes, pension funds, healthcare, education, free education, I mean everything is normal. And but more towards capitalism it is, like it encourages private firms and all, so it is booming right now, and it is thus because of the economic development models it had followed in the previous stages, but now in India it's not possible. I will discuss it further in the coming episodes, but as of now, capitalism is in the developed economies as we have discussed, but coming to socialism, it's not much more found anywhere in the world. Even India has gradually shifted towards mixed economy, wherein you will be having both nationalization of a few private sectors and of course capitalism too. So yes, in socialism towards, in communism, it is like a authoritarian system. North Korea and China, they proclaim themselves as communist countries, but not really, because of course maybe because in communist nature of societies only one party exists and people have no choice, whereas in socialism we can just say that is democratic socialist societies. We can find them in across many countries in the world, but of course it is somewhat a laxity in the people. So many countries are towards mixed economy policies itself, and of course, to be frank about communism, you have this five fingers in the palm, isn't it? Suppose you are given the ruling power, so you need to make all five equal. It will be nice if you see that the the little finger, the point finger, they to grow, the thumb finger, they to grow. But it would be bad if you cut off the middle finger and the ring finger just to make them equal to thumb finger and little finger, isn't it? It's so bad. That's what happens in communism, where the working class, they tend to be the monarchy or the authoritarian rule, and they see that everyone fits in the same, but one size fits all is the wrong notion. But in communism it happens. So that's why there are so many protests against the China's policies and all. Of course it somewhat also encourages foreign investments at some point of time, but it's somewhat not fixed economy, like, okay, we can't just differentiate it as this economy itself. Depending on the time and exigencies, it varies. But whereas in India, even we are also gradually shifting. Right after independence, we embraced socialism, just following the Russian model, where we have made the planning commission and all, and then we slowly shifted towards mixed economy. And now, of course, it's time to question if we are shifting towards capitalism. We shall discuss further along about all these types of economies and how India is progressing among these global superpowers in the further episodes. Thank you all.